Okay, so convert from standard form to scientific notation. If you hear random noises in the background, it is my child. He is supposed to be in bed, but he keeps getting up because he's not feeling well. So I'm recording at home because I did not have a chance after school. So, if you look, notice this one is converting from standard form to scientific notation. So remember, scientific notation is what we were just looking at, where it has a number between 1 and 10. So it has to be a number between 1 and 10. So notice this is 40,000. If you look at this first part, we want it to be a number between 4 and 10. I usually say you're going to want the number to be right after the first number. And that, you can't really see that color, so let me switch to orange. So you would want it right there. So notice currently the decimal is here because it's 40,000, and you could put 0.00 for like how many cents. But I need it to be a number between 1 and 10, and so the decimal would have to move from here to after the first number. So this column is number of times the decimal is moved. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So the decimal was moved 4 times. Or if you think about it, it was multiplied by 10,000. 10,000. Which would be 10 to the 4th power. So again, I think I told you guys, and sorry, the lighting's not very good at my kitchen table, but so if you have it multiplied 4 times, you can see, or if the, sorry, I'm trying to get my flash turned on and see if that helps. Oh yeah, that helps a lot. So it's 4, I moved the decimal 4 times, or it's 10 to the 4th, because 10,000 is 10 to the 4th. 10 times 10 times 10 times 10. Okay, so then we're going to write it as 4, and you could put 0.0 if you wanted, and then I'm going to do times 10 to the 4th power. Okay, this next one, again, we want the number after that first number, and then we want it right, it's currently right there. So it's currently, so we're going to move it 1, 2 times. And it, notice, moved that direction. So it moved 2 times, or the number is 400. So you multiply by 100, which is also 10 to the 2nd power. 10 times 10 is 100. So you could write it as 4 times 10 squared. Sorry, my thing is shaking. Okay, now this next one, right here, we need to move it to there. So it's still moving that way. So it moves 1 time. Or notice it's 40, so it'd be 4 times just 10, which would be 10 to the 1st power. So 4 times 10 to the 1st power. Okay, ignore these examples down here for right now. Okay, now the decimal's right here. This is 4. It's already a number between 1 and 10, so I'm going to move it 0 times. So I'm just going to multiply 4 times 1, which would be 10 to the 0 power. So it'd be 4 times 10 to the 0 power. Remember, anything to the 0 power is always 1. Okay, now this is where it starts becoming the decimals, and so it's a little bit harder to think about. Currently the decimal's here. That's 0.04. Notice 0.04 is smaller than 1, so we need to move the decimal 1 this direction. So we moved it 1 time, but it was negative. And the way I think about it is this is 4/10. So 4/10, it would be 4 times 0.10, or 10 to the negative first power. It moved backwards we had to move it this direction 1. It was a small number. If you think about negatives as small numbers, you had to move it from a small number to a bigger number. So it would be 4 times 10 to the negative first. And these ones are the hardest ones. You just kind of have to remember bigger numbers. You multiply by like 10,000, 100, 10. These ones, it's a decimal, so you're having to multiply by a decimal. So you'd have to do 10 to the negative first power, which, remember, anything to the negative power would be 1/10 or 1/10. Okay, now the decimal's here. We need it to end up there. So it would be 1, 2, 3, moved that direction. So it moved -3 times. That's 0.10. Oh, sorry, hold on. I do not have whiteout at home. So it would be 0.001. And so that would be 10 to the negative third. 4 times, and that would be the thousandths place. That's 4 1,000ths. So 10 to the negative third. Okay, so again, negative exponents means that the number is smaller. You're multiplying by a decimal. Okay, now look at this one. Okay, currently the decimal's here. We need the decimal to get here. Sorry, you can probably hear him talking in the background, but so it's here. We need to move it this direction. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Sorry, my pen started going out. That's just the way things go sometimes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 2. Just a minute, buddy. So it would be 2 times 10 to the 7th power. So 2 times 10 to the 7th power. Or I would have to do 2 times 10 million. So 2 times 10 million. Or just remember that you had to move the decimal 7 times. Okay, this next one. Again, the decimal's here. We need it to end up there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Move to the right. Or we had to move it to the right. So it would be 3 times a really small number, or 10 to the negative 4th. Because you would have to take 3 and multiply by 0.0001. Okay, now this one is here. Notice I'm not going to move the decimal here, because if I moved it there, that would be 25. We don't want 25. We want a number between 1 and 10. I was pointing up here, 1 and 10. So you have to have the number between 1 and 10. So it would have to be 2.5. So it would actually move 1, 2, 3, 4 times. So it'd be 2.5 times 10. Now, notice this is a -4 because that was a 0.00003. This one I need to multiply by 10,000 because I'm going all the way into the 20,000, which is two 10,000s. So I'd have to do 2.5 times 10, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 would be my exponent. So that's how you convert from a large number to scientific notation. Even if this was 2, 5, 3, 4, 2, or whatever those numbers might be, it would still have to be right after the first number, to the right of the first number, to the right of the first number.